All right. Well, when I grew up, I come from Condobolin. My name's Les Powell, and I grew up in a mission in Condobolin. So it was a mission where all the Aboriginal people lived. And there was a very funny story when I was little. We used to run around the mission and play with all the kids. And my auntie sung out, Auntie Cass, she sung out, "Come on, you little black fellas, come over here now, sit down, and we're going to feed you. We're going to give you some oranges." I said, "All right, Aunt." So we all sat down and we started to eat the orange, and the river was about 200 yards away. Next to a little auntie, she was about 4 foot, and she was, we seen her there, and she had a big stick, and she was hitting it into the ground. And we jumped up and said, "Look, Auntie, there, so it's killing a snake there." And my old Auntie Cass said, "Stay there, you little black fellas." She said, "You watch, that black snake will get up and walk in a minute." Anyway, so she kept hitting the ground, and all of a sudden she walked away. Then we sat staring at the spot where she was, and all of a sudden my Uncle Fredo gets up, and he starts walking away.
Well, you already answered where you're from and think, what are you doing in Canberra? Why are you here in this camp?
Well, I'm dead set against them vaccinating little kids because I think their immune system is so strong when they're young. And I think that they're being coerced, and I think it will eventually kill kids. I don't know the year, whether it's 5 years or 15 years lifespan for the children. And so I want to come down and make a statement. I want to share as many stories as I can. But not only that, I just had a mate that had a major stroke. He's double vaxxed. He's a real estate agent, runs his own business. And
How old is he?
54. He's in hospital now, can't walk, can't talk, can't move. And what they said when he was in the ICU or wherever he was, that is that they said, then now you need the booster to heal you. So they just gave him the last bullet to kill him. So
It's like having a headache and using a hammer and hitting yourself in the head to try and cure the headache.
Exactly. So yeah, so it's and then I've had, there's other stories I've had where another cousin that had when they first brought AstraZeneca out, he's the fittest bloke in Orange. He's my age, but he's very fit. He runs the local AMS. And after the first shot, stroke.
Well,
So-
what's the AMS just said?
Aboriginal Medical Service.
And a stroke after the first.
After the first AstraZeneca.
And does he link it to, or did he just think it's a
No, it's
coincidence?
because he's paid good money. He's accepted it, and the doctors told him that he's got blood clots, and that was the real reason. So he's
Aren't the blood clots caused by the clot shot?
Yes, exactly. But I think some people, because they're paid big money, they have a lot to lose financially.
Yeah.
So because of the finance, they'll go with the narrative,
Yeah.
or the lie, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And so they're willing to risk their lives because of their so-called lifestyle.
There's a lot of division in the Indigenous community about it, because I've been interviewing people from all different communities. All communities are split, from the police to the churches to the scouts to everywhere. Every community, like even nurses, there's some for it, some against. Is it the same in Indigenous, or you?
I'd say 90% of blackfellas won't get it.
Wow.
I come from Condobolin originally,
Yeah.
and there's 3,000 population. The only ones that work in medical or in big high-paid jobs are getting it, all the rest not getting it.
Yeah.
They're even following them into shops, trying to get them vaccinated.
Wouldn't the Indigenous population have a healthy distrust of the government anyway?
They do. Like when my mum grew up, she wouldn't go to the hospital.
Yeah.
Because in our day, if you went to the hospital, you died. That's my mum's view.
Yeah.
I'm very distrusting at the moment because of, when my wife's white, she's Irish. And when she lost her job, that was 5 months ago because she didn't get vaccinated. She said, "How dare can they do this to me, Les?" She said, "It's unfair, it's discriminating." Hello, that's how I grew up. What's changed?
That's true.
And I had another white mate say to me, "Les, if you don't get vaccinated, you can't come to the pub." Hello, what's changed? I still can't go there.
Do you know, it's really interesting how we can actually learn now, because I've interviewed a few other Indigenous people, and they say now you get to learn what we've been through firsthand, and it's hard to understand segregation when you're the oppressor, no matter how empathetic you try to be.
That's right.
You can't do it. But now it's like we went out the other night, can't get into shops, can't get to anywhere to eat. We booked a hotel for 9 people, 3 rooms. And then they go, "Oh, you're not vaccinated? No, you can't come in."
You're the new blackfella, brother.
And I said,
You joined the club. You red.
yeah.
You my mob. You tribe. Hey, you come across, cousin, and join with us.
I even offered him extra money. I said, "Look, we'll pay extra." And he's going, "No, you
You're
can't
a
come."
black man, but you stink.
Yeah.
Like so as I said, when I grew up, when we went to the pictures, we couldn't go upstairs because that was white people. There was a rope divided between the back and the front, so we couldn't go until they put the rope across. We had to sit at the back.
Yeah.
So, there's still pubs in Condo, where I come from, that are still black and white. So,
Really?
because that's a black and white town. It's
Yeah.
mainly black and white. So you still have that segregation, and it's there. So, so it's very hard. And another little funny story that's leading up to it, like when the whites come in to take over and they set up a mission and a reserve, then they sort of started saying that all the tribal people had to leave. You could only keep the half-caste people in town on the mission. So what happened was the old tribal fellas sneak back at night, and they'd see their family. But there was one old bloke called Jack O'Mara. And Jack O'Mara would always wear his lap, always carry his spear, always have a googar to eat. Anyways, and the mission manager said, Jack O'Mara, he said, I told you, hey. He said, next time I catch you wearing lap, carrying spear and eating guana, he said, I'll whip you. Anyway, so old Jack O'Mara sort of nodded. Come back the next day, he seen him, same day. Jack O'Mara, what am I telling you? What's going to get through? Do I have to whip you to make sure that you start wearing clothes? You're civilised now, Jack O'Mara. What's wrong with you, brother? Anyway, so the third day was Sunday, and they were down the river baptising Aboriginal people into Christianity. And Jack O'Mara was so excited, because he was part of it, he made a ceremony, cooked guana, lap, spear. The mission manager come along to Jack O'Mara, what to tell you? He said, I've got to tell you, third warning, strikes, all out. So he said, you're going to be whipped. Ah, no, boss, he said. You don't understand, boss. He said, when I catch him guana, he said, I took him down the river and baptised him chicken. So, so the stereotype, the stories that go with it, it doesn't line up to what's real. So, for Indigenous folk,
the camera's shaking. I'm laughing too much.
Yeah, but with the Indigenous folk, this is nothing new. This is what we grew up. This is how we come up.
Yeah.
So it's nothing new for us.
Yeah.
So we understand the process very well.
Yeah.
But luckily for me, most of my people, they won't take the vaccine because they don't trust government with it itself.
Yeah.
What did government do for us? What have they ever done for Indigenous people? Nothing.
No.
And this is just, the broader community, which in a way it's really good because it brings us together as one.
Yeah.
There's suddenly that divide. The only divide there is now is vaccinated, unvaccinated.
Yeah.
So if we go back to the double vaccinated now, if they don't take the booster, well, they're the unvaccinated.
Yeah.
So how many boosters we got to get before?
Well, we're all black fellas.
They're all black fellas. You're my culture fella, so you come and live with me now.
Yeah.
Come to my country.
Could you just do a call out to tell people to come and why they should come?
Look, I think everybody should unite because it doesn't matter whether you're black, doesn't matter whether you're white, doesn't matter whether you're Baptist, doesn't matter whether you're Anglican, doesn't matter whether you're Pentecostal, doesn't matter whether you're a politician. Like, we need to stand up and start telling the narrative about what's behind this and who's behind this. If we don't start telling the truth, Martin Luther said, if the oppressed don't speak up, they'll stay oppressed. Wake up, Australia.
I want to applaud, but I'm holding the